Good afternoon, and we're going to be looking at Shirley's surface. Sorry, I'll try not to move the camera around so much. So here's a sphere, a yellow sphere. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn this sphere into a Shirley surface. And there we go. Oh, wait. There we go. See? There's a sphere. Wait, let's do it again. This sphere, and now it's going to turn into Shirley's surface. Because this is looking at the, just sort of reconfirming and looking at the fact that Shirley's surface is two spheres. It is 720 degrees, which you know is kind of relevant to a whole bunch of stuff. So anyways, there we go. See? Now we have Shirley's surface, or half a Shirley's surface, because, see, it's sort of like, because it's a half wave. It's like, it is a full sine wave, but because the frequency is a half wave, you only get half the surface. So that's a 360, though I think the better way of thinking about it is if the entire top, because that's like, in the entire top, as this being the spinner kind of surface, is that the entire top is 360 degrees of, let's say, going out. So this would be inflow, because it's coming into this area. This is the way I was taught how to describe space, like volumetric flows, because if you have a hole in the floor, the water flows out the hole, out of your space. So this would be an inflow, let's say, like a fountain, right? And that in my model would be an electron. But notice that on this side, on the other side of time, that would have to be a outflow from that side to provide the inflow to this side. And so this is how inside every electron there is a positron. And this is why it's the 720 degrees thing, because the electron is 360 degrees of expansion. It's the ADS. And gravity is the proton is the convergence, divergence, convergence, unified in a single object. And this is why we're going to do decay. There we go. So pick one, and what is the, they balance. Would it be a photon, except that photons are more like, do I have the photon built into this? No, I don't have a photon built into this one. Okay, so I'm not going to do a photon. There's already, it's only 3.5 minutes. I might be talking fast. So, there we go. That is Shirley's surface. This is either inflow or outflow. I don't know how to do flows yet. I'm still working on that. But, it goes down there. This is not a toroid, though. Okay. What there is the infinitesimal, where these two surfaces, like the line that's coming from there, goes down. So it's on the outside. Let's say we're going down this line here with the yellow right there with my fingers. Okay, so that's on the yellow. It's on the outside, but when you hit here, you're now on the inside. And this is the, it double balances because it's a single-sided surface. So while not only is it sort of from the outside into the inside here, but you get the double layer, so that like where this is our side of time, let's say, and on the other side of time, because as long as there's no stress on the universe, no real stress, and this is why it's a flow and not an actual stress on the universe, everything can move like a superfluid, because there's no friction in any way, shape, or form. It just flows. It flows because it is purely the flow. It's the shape that allows that. There's no place for it to go because it supplies its own needs. Self-sufficient, homeostatic. Okay. This is why it has to be this shape, because it's a universe. So it has to be absolutely perfectly optimized to be a universe that can exist forever. Because eternity's like that, you know? And I think there's sort of like, that's the thing, like this looks like this is like, we're talking about a 2D surface over a 3D shape. And even if we imagine the flow, then we got 4D, we added time to it. Uh-oh. You know? So even if I could do flow, that would add the 4Ds to it. But then this whole thing is actually in 3 dimensions. You know, like that flow, let's say that flow out here is actually, you know, that's coming out of a point and swelling up. It's just an expanding, it's like, right? And there's other places, which are all the things that we call matter, because you can't have protons, you can't have matter without proton-y things. But you get as much space as you want with just electrons. You know, like one electron can fill as big a space as you need it to, because that's the way it goes. Because it's the pushing out, so it'll just, this is the ADS, the electron is the ADS, and the proton charge indicates the flow. Inside the proton there must be a single surface, I already went through that, but it's like there's a little ball inside of there, the ball of time. And because there's a ball of time and it's spinning infinitely fast, it creates a low pressure zone around itself, so everything needs to flow towards it. So the only way to coordinate this flow is that basically everything flows to the surface of time and then it gets ejected from the surface of time so that it can flow back to the surface of time and get ejected by the surface of time. And that is everywhere. That surface, that moment of being both, pervades the universe. And that surface is why we all know that we're all connected, because the universe is a singular object. Universe. The single word. Okay, and that's what shape it is, in my opinion. Okay, but I think it's a pretty solid model, I gotta say. It coordinates everything. The gravity of an object pulls things towards it. This creates the charge. This is why a proton has positive charge, because that is an outflow through massiness. That's the outflow, and there's the inflow. And this is how things flow. Okay, peace. I hope that wasn't too pushy sounding, but what can I say? It's like, you know, when you believe something and you have all this coordination, neutrons fall into surfaces, into event horizons, neutrons pop out in deep voids, or that's the easiest way of thinking of it, like nuggets, you know, like a single nugget of neutron, because that's what gravity makes. It makes neutrons, okay? It crushes stuff down until it's a nice little bead, nice little double cover bead. Okay, but then you have an event horizon, which is like one giant neutron, because they all lost their identity. See, the surface of the event horizon is like the well of souls in that series, or it's like heaven, because that's the surface of where everything resides. It's the surface of our atoms, but we can't get to them because we are stuck in these corporeal things. And it's like, but the surface of that proton is in a tiny, tiny minimalist Planck event horizon. And then just the way you say, same way you need a certain amount of mass to make a event horizon, you know, you take a certain amount of flow, a very specific value, and that relationship is the Weyl value, right? Basically, it's like the relationship of the proton-electron as a complex is so similar to sort of the universe compared to any point in the universe, in a way, you know? Okay, I'll stop. I was rambling there. Peace.